Don't ruin your life. A close call with instant karma. This story is about life rule number 4. Don't steal anything ever. When I was in my early 20s, my girlfriend and I took a drive in the country outside the city where we lived, which eventually took us through a small farming town. Just to explore, we took some side streets and passed by a somewhat isolated old 2-story house with a for sale sign in the yard. As we drove by, we saw that the front door was open. The house didn't have a garage and there were no cars in the side parking area, so the place looked uninhabited. I turned around and parked in front of the house to see if anyone was home, and if not, to close the door to discourage kids, vandals, thieves, and keep out any rain. As a break from sitting in the car, my girlfriend walked with me to the front door where I called out to see if anyone was home, and there was no answer. As we looked inside past the entry hall, we could see into one of the main rooms where dozens of books were scattered on the floor next to wall-to-wall shelves that held hundreds of other books. So we went inside to make sure that there were no open or broken windows or open faucets or any other problems that might end up damaging or destroying not only the books but also the house itself. If so, we could report it to the real estate company or maybe the local police. It turned out that there was in fact some minor vandalism in adjacent rooms. Both my girlfriend and I were book lovers, and we could see that many of the books on the floor and shelves were old volumes, both fiction and nonfiction, and many dating from the early 1900s. The idea of their being walked on or otherwise damaged bothered us, so we decided to put the books on the floor back on the shelves. As we worked, I noticed my girlfriend putting some books into a separate pile. I asked why, and she said it was crazy to leave them here to be damaged or maybe thrown away by whoever bought the house, so she was going to rescue them. Even before then, one of my life rules was don't steal anything ever. I said no, she couldn't do that. The best we could do was notify someone about the situation. It took a bit of convincing, but in the end, she agreed. We finished picking up the books and left the house, closing the front door on the way. As we neared my parked car, a police vehicle pulled up behind it and stopped, and an officer got out and asked what we were doing on the property. I said we were passing through town on the way home, noticed the open front door of the house, and stopped to close it since the house looked empty. I also told him about the minor vandalism inside and that maybe he could notify the owner or real estate agent. After a little more conversation, we said goodbye to the officer, got in my car, and left. As you can imagine, when we were a couple of blocks away, I said to my girlfriend, "Good thing you weren't carrying an armful of stolen books." Of course, she was thinking about that herself and was noticeably shaken up by her near miss with some big trouble. So think about it. This was a small town with not much going on. Here's a city girl driving through and committing unlawful entry and burglary of a private residence. The officer probably would have arrested her on the spot, maybe both of us. She likely would have been cuffed, put into his patrol car, taken to the local police station to be processed, and maybe placed in a cell until I could bail her out. I didn't have much money back then, so she might have stayed in the jail overnight while I found the cash. Then she would have had to return to the town court, plead guilty since she was obviously stealing, and pay a fine. She would now have a criminal record which could affect her future employment opportunities. All this for a few books. So that's my true story. What's the message? It's life rule number 4 in this series. Don't steal anything, ever. Video number 4 discusses aspects of stealing, types of stealing, and the consequences of stealing that most people likely will never consider. In a similar way, other Don't Ruin Your Life videos examine more complicated or unusual situations concerning obeying the golden rule, telling lies, choosing a mate, raising children, infidelity, and other crucial subjects where making a bad decision can ruin your life. A reminder, Don't Ruin Your Life videos are not time sensitive. They have nothing to do with current events except for the current event that is your life. Assuming that humans remain essentially the same as they have for the past few thousand years, the life rules and advice in this series will be valid indefinitely. And if you heed the advice, maybe you won't make the same mistakes that I did, or the mistakes that my friends, acquaintances, and other people who shared their errors made. And with that, I wish you a happy, productive life.